This episode of The Reasons I'm Broke is brought to you by Audible.
Sign up today and get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia.
There's over 150,000 titles to choose from, all available on your Android device, Kindle, and iPhone.
Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
And for any new listeners, welcome to the show. The way the format goes is we cover some news first, and then we end the last half of the show covering our comic books for the week.
And we have a ton of news this week.
Ton of news for all the brokeheads out there. Let me let them know ahead of time that there actually will not be a show next week. So it's just going to be a longer episode than the last couple. Hope you all enjoy.
First up, we have some movie news, sort of. Movie review, I guess. We went and saw Taken 3 this week.
Taken 3. We reviewed Taken 2 on the podcast months ago. What was it, a year ago?
It was a while ago.
It doesn't seem like 2 came out that long ago, but it might have. And we did not like it.
Nope.
It was not good. You acknowledge that it just doesn't exist.
What? Taken? There was a 2? How did we skip to Thrikin?
Well, 3 is the same exact director. Liam Neeson returns. So there's his wife and his kid, most of his friends. They're all back. And it's still not very good.
Still not good at all. We see the mom doing her mom thing.
So basically the plot, the way he's taken back into this, and there is some Taken involved, obviously, with Liam Neeson said he would not do this movie under the stipulation that no one gets taken, and it happens like 3 times in it.
Yeah.
He gets framed for the murder of his wife. And
Ex-wife.
So now,
Ex-wife.
Well, it seemed like in the last one they had gotten back together, and then they decided, well, that didn't happen. Instead, we're just going to make it so that they're getting back together now instead of in Taken 2. And that way we can move forward with this plot that she gets killed, and then Liam Neeson has to go and get her revenge and all this other nonsense. But now he's fighting the Americans. Yes.
Well, no, that one guy was still Russian.
Well, he fights the Russians as well, but the Americans are coming after him.
Yeah, like the FBI and shit.
Right, and you'd think that it's like a bigger deal, like, holy shit, the CIA. It's like, well,
they're like doo-dums.
They're idiots. They're just like stumbling over one another the entire time, which makes sense because Liam Neeson's also older, so it kind of balances out. He's not going up against Bulgarian 30-year-olds that he has to kill and hide under their bodies like in the first movie. Instead, he's gotta let them slip on banana peels and not be able to climb over fences because they're fat cops.
Pretty sure it wasn't quite that dramatic, but you could definitely tell Liam Neeson was older in this movie, and they definitely made the cops seem so much more incompetent than they were. Like, you had the one really smart cop who probably...
Forrest Whitaker, right?
Yes, who probably should have done more than he did, because a lot of times he's like, nah, we won't find him anyway. And I'm like, well, you could try. And then he'd call his guys and be like, yo, you need to do this. And they'd be like, nah, we're smarter than that.
Right. Put a tail on him. There's no point. He will have lost you by now. It's like, just put a tail on him, dude. You have all the resources in the world. Just, who knows? You might get him.
No, he said he didn't want to waste that money.
What money? What energy? Like, just put a guy in a car and fucking follow him. And if not, oh well. Money wasted. And if he's so good at losing them, what is that, 5 minutes out of their day?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, maybe he's headed towards the donut shop. You can just take a detour. Or the bagel shop that, like, I visited all the time.
Cops eat donuts and bagels in this, because they're Americans, and that's what we do.
He's trying to be healthier. We're trying to get away from the donut stereotype.
There's more action in this one than in Taken 2, I would say. More smart action. There's none of this crap where she's throwing grenades into a parking lot just to get his attention so that he can count the number of seconds to see where she's located. Fucking stupid. None of that happens here. It's just Liam Neeson on the run, and then when he needs to, he fucking kills people. There's a guy at the very end that he fights who's just on his underwear the entire time, so I was just... It's funny. It's a funny movie. I was laughing.
He was a little hard in his underwear, too. I'm just throwing that out there.
He was. Just fighting Liam Neeson like that. Trying to intimidate Liam. And yeah, it was enjoyable. It was entertaining. But it wasn't good. It wasn't like the first one. The first one was a good movie, and it was entertaining as hell. Way more entertaining than the second or the third one. This was an improvement on number 2, but that's not saying much.
No. There was number 2? Pretty sure there was not a Taken 2. But I agree 100%. If you're going to see a Taken, see the first one. That's all you need.
That being said, if they make a Taken 4, we're going to fucking see Taken 4, of course.
Well, he's going to... Oh, okay. Plot twist, man. His daughter's pregnant.
Way to spoil it for everyone. This cinematic masterpiece.
You can cut it out. It's not a cinematic masterpiece. But anyway, that's what Taken 4 is going to be.
I do want someone to be mad about that. Like, you fucking spoiled Taken 3 for me, the biggest movie of the year.
We kind of, like, spoiled the whole movie already.
Yeah, oh yeah. But, I mean, there's not much to spoil. The plot is thin.
But anyway, like, that's what Taken 4 is going to be. He's going to be like, my grandchild's been taken.
I have to save babies now.
And he's going to be, like, in a walker, like, beating up people.
I'm sold. Done.
Done.
I'm in.
He could even be in like a little wheelchair, like he'd have like rockets on it because he's, cool like that.
Whatever Liam Neeson movies come out, we're gonna see it. This one happened to be Taken 3, and yep. I mean, we say rent it or stick to the first one.
Was it better than Taken on a Plane?
Oh, that's tough to say because Taken on a Plane was directed better, and I felt the suspense was also that guy from House of Cards was there in the movie. He plays the villain now in the new Ant-Man that's coming out. The bald guy, Peter Russo.
Oh, he was.
He's going to be the villain in Ant-Man.
Okay. I think I like Taken on a Plane better, though.
Sticking to movie stuff, Tom Hardy has reportedly dropped out of the role of Rick Flag in next year's Suicide Squad film.
The movie he's currently filming, The Revenant, has gone over schedule. Suicide Squad is scheduled to start filming in April. Warner Brothers has supposedly extended the role over to Jake Gyllenhaal, who has previously worked with David Ayer on End of Watch.
David Ayer being the director of Suicide Squad. So any bit of news with comic book, anything, immediately these websites run with it and clickbait. Now they're putting up headlines like, ooh, he left because there was too much attention on Will Smith and the Joker and Deadshot.
Okay.
It's like, none of that is true. If you know anything at all about how a movie works, sometimes these things go over schedule. It happens all the time. And with someone like Tom Hardy, who is very much in demand, who's doing films back to back, yeah, if something moves over schedule, he has to either completely drop the role or the movie will have to wait for him. If it's like an independent movie, they will move their filming schedule back and call everyone and say, hey guys, we're actually filming in May. But it's Suicide Squad. You can't move it back with Will Smith attached and all these other big named actors, especially if you want this movie out next year in time with Batman v Superman. So they extended it to Jake Gyllenhaal, who I'm assuming was a runner-up for the role. I don't know.
Oh, those Gyllenhaals.
You can't escape them, can you?
Oh, those Gyllenhaals.
What's wrong with Jake?
I don't like him.
I liked him in Prisoners a lot.
Oh, he was good in Prisoners. You're right. Okay, he's redeemed himself. But Maggie better not ever be in anything ever again.
That's fine. She died in The Dark Knight anyway.
Died in Dark Knight, died in real life.
This isn't a big deal. Like, I do like Tom Hardy more than Jake Gyllenhaal. I understand people that are upset with this. But watch Prisoners. He's a really good actor. He was awesome. Hugh Jackman's also in that movie.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
And it's a really good movie.
Now we're going to move into the largest part of our news, the video game news. So much video game news this week.
Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct this week, and they just put out everything that is happening in spring for the company.
They just went, bleh, and we all ate it up.
Oh, yeah.
So, first off, Nintendo has stopped selling their consoles in Brazil.
In a statement, Nintendo said the following: Brazil is an important market for Nintendo and home to many possible fans, but unfortunately, challenges in the local business environment have made our current distribution model in the country unsustainable. These challenges include high import duties that apply to our sector and our decision not to have a local manufacturing operation, which Microsoft actually does have. That's why their console is a little bit cheaper in Brazil than the PS4 or the Nintendo Wii U.
The PS4, though, in Brazil, this is ridiculous. I had no idea it was this expensive. Due to import costs, the PS4 is $1,500. That's crazy, instead of the $399 that it is in other territories.
This is why you see a lot of Brazilian tourists, they come with like 2 empty briefcase or suitcases. They fill that up with consoles, video games, just everything. And that's because, 1, they can go over to Brazil and sell it for a profit, or 2, they can have a system at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo's losing out on the Brazilian market by pulling completely out of it?
No, because they're going to come over here and buy them anyway.
Do you think Nintendo should make a manufacturing company in Brazil to keep the costs down like Microsoft has?
It's difficult because at the end of the day, Nintendo's a business. And if you're losing profit, which it sounds like they would be, even if they opened a manufacturer over there, then it's not worth it. So, yes, you may lose out on a small profit, but in the long run, they save money. It's all business.
The other thing, too, is they want to keep a close eye on the manufacturing of their product. So having it in two different places, one being, I'm assuming, China, and the other in Brazil, it's kind of, they have to have now two different sectors to keep an eye on both. And instead, as a business, and I understand, I would want it all in one place, monitor completely, fully everything that's happening, all the shipment that's going in terms of products, and everything that's going out as well. So yes, I agree. Just like Sony, don't have a manufacturing plan if you can't afford it, or if you want to keep a closer eye on your product. This is my bit of Nintendo news that I was happiest for. With Star Fox coming to the Wii U by the end of this year, Nintendo will have a playable version at E3 2015.
The game will utilize the gamepad's second screen to fire from the R-Wing from two different perspectives.
We had learned that the R-Wing is going to be able to transform into the Landmaster, and instead of them being separate vehicles, so that leaves the possibility for you to be able to do certain stages either on the air or on the ground. Maybe you have to switch on the go as the level progresses. Either way, I hope it stays to that formula that we enjoyed in Nintendo 64, where it's just one level, you fly up, down, left, right, you do your barrel rolls, all of that fun stuff.
Do a barrel roll!
But yeah, keep the on-foot stuff out of it, and I think they will. After we saw what Bayonetta 2 could do with the R-Wing flying missions, there is a bit in there where she dresses up in a Star Fox uniform.
That's awesome.
And instead of her being like that, where she takes control of another ship, or she's like a demon, instead she's actually an R-Wing, and you're fighting all the different angels and all that.
That's why you wanted that game.
Well, that's just a perk. And it's a really good game. I did start Bayonetta 2. It is a lot of fun. Better than the first one, and I like the first one. Any of the loose mechanics, any of the stuff that I was kind of like, this part's a little more difficult, maybe they should make it easier on this end. They streamlined the item use, all of that. It's a fantastic game. If you have a Wii U and you don't have Bayonetta 2, you are doing an injustice to yourself. Continuing with Nintendo news.
Nintendo Force 2015 Kickstarter is up for renewal. We've talked a little bit about Nintendo Force on the show before. It's a magazine that kind of took over when Nintendo Power stopped.
Right.
It is all fan-made.
Yeah, some of the workers are from EGM, IGN, from all these different news video game places, and they came together and they wanted to continue the spirit of Nintendo Power. So they still have some of the exact same features that the old magazine had, but they've done it and they've made it their own. They kind of gave it their own little spin. They still have the Counselor's Corner, all of the stuff that we used to love, the reviews, and they're a little bit less biased because they're not directly tied or paid by Nintendo. So all of the reviews are very much like Game Informer or game trailers, that kind of thing. The way they do their magazine is they do a Kickstarter, and they're like, okay, so here's our goal, and you can subscribe, let's say $25 for the physical or whatever, and that's how you get your year of Nintendo Force. And every year they just do a new Kickstarter with new perks. So it's a little better than a regular subscription because you can get a lot of bonuses based on the different tiers that they hit.
So this does come out every 2 months. Their Kickstarter goal is $55,000. Just to break down some of the tiers for you, for $10 you get a 2-issue trial. For $20 you get the digital subscription available on all major devices including Android and iOS. For $25 you get the print subscription.
That's the one I went with.
Of course. For $40 you get the print and digital subscriptions. And for $150 you get all of the perks and you can submit your very own comic into the magazine.
For all of the artists out there, if you want to have a comic published and you want it in your portfolio, in your resume, if you want to move forward with it, you can say, hey, my comic was in this magazine, Nintendo Force. Nintendo's obviously a very recognizable name. Looks good on any portfolio. There you go. For $150, you get to be published where people can see you. You have your Twitter handle, your website, whatever you want to promote. It'll be in the magazine. So that is a great perk for artists out there.
Somebody draw us a Superman Loves Batman comic. Put that in there. They didn't say it had to be Nintendo related.
It's very true. So I definitely say check it out. Check out the Kickstarter. Nintendo Force is awesome, especially if you like Nintendo Power. It's a great magazine. It's a lot of fun. And $25 for the print subscription is not bad at all. Yeah, it comes out every 2 months, but that means the magazine is that much fuller with content.
So now we can move into our Nintendo Direct news. This took place on the 14th of January, 2015.
First one is for the Hyrule Warriors out there. Tingle and Young Link are arriving via DLC. It's called the Majora's Mask Pack.
This pack includes additional costumes for existing characters and new map challenges. It will be available February 5th for $7.99.
We saw the trailer. Mm-hmm. Did you ever know about Tingle?
I didn't know about Tingle, but now I know why his name is Tingle. He's very flamboyant.
He is. There's a lot of art where he's sticking his butt out like, I'm
like
Tingle.
Kissing people. And
he talks to little Link, and I'm like, what's going on here?
I'm very confused.
But I'm very happy also that you get to play as him. Hopefully you can use some flamboyant moves to defeat the enemies. Maybe maybe...
Tingle put in false eyelashes. All the boys fall down.
Way better than what I was going to say. Also, Young Link, he actually transforms into Fierce Deity Link via the mask. So he puts the mask on.
He turns into Sashomaru from Inuyasha.
I don't know who that is.
Well, look him up, and then you'll know. One of our listeners out there know.
Sashomaru?
Sashomaru.
Sashomaru. All right. Yes. So Young Link turns into Sashomaru.
From Inuyasha.
It's the Inuyasha pack.
I would play it then.
I think it's going to sell pretty well with the hype of Majora's Mask being what it is. $8, not much to ask for. I haven't played Hyrule Warriors. I don't own it. It's, from what I understand, a Dynasty Warriors, but with Link.
A Tingle.
Tingle, yeah, that's true.
Just buy it for Tingle. Like, don't even have Hyrule Warriors. Just buy the pack to say you have Tingle.
Yeah. We also have more on the Nintendo Direct. Mario Party 10 will be coming to the Wii U on March 20th.
Mm-hmm. There will be a limited edition bundle with a Mario amiibo that will launch on the same day.
The amiibos, that's something I do want to talk about in a little bit. But Mario Party 10, always a staple for any of the Nintendo consoles. Not as strong as it used to be with RN64 days, but there's definitely still a market out there for them. I think the party game is definitely Super Smash Bros. Now. That's where most players, young and old, are gravitating towards.
Not this player.
So you rather play Mario Party? Or,
yes.
Actually, you rather play... No, I was going to say Mario Kart, never mind.
No, I'm bad at all those games. I need, like, a game that's more chance-based.
Something that doesn't require skill?
Yes, something where I can just kind of mash a button. I'm very bad at video games.
Unless it's Pokemon, right?
Or Pokemon Snap. So good.
There's also some eShop news.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars is exclusively releasing on the eShop through Wii U and 3DS on March 5th.
Same month as Mario Party 10, gamers who buy either version will receive a digital code to download it for free on the other system.
That's awesome.
That is Nintendo experimenting with this cross-platform play that they're really behind on. A lot of people were very upset that when you bought games on the eShop on your 3DS, the Virtual Console ones, like, hey, I want to buy Super Mario Bros. 3, same account, you have the same name, they're linked, you don't get it on the Wii U. You have to pay for it again on the Wii U. They never implemented some kind of system where it's like, you own it here, you can play it there. Sort of like you can with the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation Vita, and the PS3 and PS4. That is something that they should have nailed from the beginning. It's something that I guess they didn't anticipate people would care for, but that just...
getting there, though.
To me, that just shows the vast misunderstanding that they have.
Or the vast brilliance, because how many people went ahead and bought both of them anyway?
And how many people didn't buy either because that you don't get both. Someone like me, if I want to play Mario, I'm way more inclined to buy it if I know I can have it on the go.
I think they're smart. They're up there laughing at all of us.
Regardless, it looks like they are moving in a good direction with this. You get the code, which isn't exactly like, okay, so you own it on both, it recognizes it, but it's probably the way they're going to move forward with a lot of these games and how you purchase them on the eShop.
There's also some more Wii games that will be available digitally through the eShop. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is now up on the shop with Punch-Out, coming in January 22nd. And the Metroid Prime trilogy will be arriving on January 29th.
The Wii U already plays Wii games, so you're wondering, well, why are they coming out digitally? Wii games are actually going to be $9.99 during their first week of release before settling to $19.99 afterward. Super Mario Galaxy is still a $30 game used, so you can get it for $10 via the eShop.
That was such a fun game, too.
Yeah. Games that supported the classic gamepad will support the gamepad that the Wii U uses, the one that came with the console. So that is really good news.
There's also a free-to-play downloadable game that is coming out this February.
It's called Pokemon Shuffle. It plays a lot like Pokemon Troze.
It is Candy Crush Pokemon. That's all this game is.
I saw the little pieces and I saw the Bulbasaur. I'm like, yes, Bulbasaur's in there. Every time you do the lineup for the pieces, like, they attack the Pokemon that you're fighting. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like Pokemon Pinball, where you hit them with the Pokeball, which is your pinball. And I guess sort of like...
It's Candy Crush for Pokemon.
Fine, it's Candy. That's what it is.
That's all it is. Like, don't even try and pretend it's something new. It's Candy Crush, but with Pokemon, and I'm eating it up.
Players will be able to purchase in-game items via the eShop. That means you have X amount of moves in 24 hours, and you can buy more moves via the eShop. Yes, it is Candy Crush.
Candy Crush for Pokemon.
So you're in, aren't you?
Sold. I was like super addicted to Candy Crush. I had to delete that thing. I'll probably be super addicted and have to delete this too. But until then, I'll enjoy.
When we talked about the end of 2014 and what was most expensive, you had said that games like this are the reasons people were broke.
Yep.
And it looks like it's going to continue with Pokemon Shuffle.
Of course. It's not going to... How many kids are going to buy this and run out of moves and be like, yo, Mom, can I spend $1 today? And Mom's going to be like, go ahead and spend $1, and like $17 later.
Yeah.
Because this could potentially be hundreds of dollars for this game. I get that they let you download it for free, but for somebody, it could... I work with somebody who just spends tons of money on all these online games because you think $1 here, 50 cents over there, but it all adds up.
Oh, yeah. I personally won't be checking it out. I'm not a fan of those games.
Candy Crush is so much fun.
But there is a market for it, for sure.
So much fun. Super addicted.
So this is what the internet has been talking about, and this is what I really want to discuss. The new 3DS system is releasing in North America on February 13th. We knew about this last year because it did come out in Japan. Mm-hmm. We were just waiting, and I told people when I was working at GameStop, hold off, there's going to be a brand new 3DS coming out next year. Just so you know, if you want to get an XL now, fine, but there's this new one coming. No, just get the one. Alright, fine. Well, this new one's coming really quick next month, and it's only the XL. They're not releasing the one system that has the removable faceplates.
So this new system has a faster processor, face tracking 3D technology, so right now when you play your 3DS, if you turn it, it gets all blurry. That's not going to happen now. Extra analog stick, additional shoulder buttons, NFC functionality in the screen so you can play your little amiibos, and exclusive applications.
So the 3D, I think that's the one I really want to try out the most. Basically, it knows where you're facing it, where your eyes are, and it'll adjust according to how you turn the 3DS. That is one of the biggest concerns with the older ones, and that's why I always had the 3D turned off, is you needed to have it completely still and centered. If you wavered just a little bit, it would get blurry, and that's no fun. It doesn't look good.
Messing with your eyes.
Exactly. But with this, I'm way more tempted to actually keep it on for longer periods of time. I'm still not huge on the 3D. It's just, a nice gimmick, I guess. But this is still improving, and it could be something that maybe they implement in a future system, either a handheld or a home console.
Mm-hmm. So this system will be available in red and black, and a limited edition gold Majora's Mask system for $200.
$200. That Majora's Mask system is fucking gone. Gone.
Hope you didn't want it, because you ain't getting it.
Those first 2 days, if you went into GameStop, you have to pay it outright, so $200 plus tax, and then they ship it to the store, they give you a call, hey, your Majora's Mask 3DS is in. I had the opportunity, I'm like, well, I could go in and I could do it, but honestly, I don't have much of an incentive to upgrade to a new 3DS. There aren't any games yet that are making me have to have this system. Mm-hmm. And at the moment, I'm only playing Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I traded in my Super Smash Brothers, and with the PS4 that we're getting later this year, I just don't see myself needing a new 3DS.
The reasons were broke.
However, if you've never owned a DS or a 3DS, or if you still have the original one, even the original 3DS, this is a good thing to upgrade to, because there's so many improvements from those older models to this new one. Here's the kicker of all this. It does not come with an AC adapter.
Right. So you can't charge it.
They did this in Japan, and I was like, this won't fly in North America. And they're trying to do it in North America.
Silly.
Consumers are not happy, including me. I'm not even buying one of those fucking things. And I'm like, put a fucking AC adapter, guys. It costs you pennies. Throw it in there. Yeah, you can use your old one from the old 3DS, but if you're upgrading your system, if you're trading in your old one towards this new one, you do have to trade in your AC adapter. Mm-hmm. So either way, you have to buy one. The one Nintendo will offer will inevitably be like $25. Yeah, you get the third-party one for $10, but now the system is costing you $210, as opposed to them just spending the extra cents. Like, they've got AC adapters up the ass over there. Throw one in each box. They're just like playing
jump rope with them.
They type with it. They just break them all the time. Like, fuck it. We've got all the time in the world. Slinging those things around. They've got to have like a dartboard of just AC adapters.
They just throw darts at them all day. Oh, amazing.
Bozo's buckets with just giant buckets, and they throw the AC adapters in there. That's all they do all day.
Beer pong with.
Yes.
That's why they can't put them in there. They've used them all.
I'm pretty sure they build systems out of AC adapters. Like, we've got a bunch of these, throw that in there.
And it's just sitting in there. Like, if you open up your Wii U, there's just an AC adapter. No, not doing anything.
Just to add weight to the system so you feel like you got your money's worth. So Nintendo, quit playing Bozo's buckets and beer pong with the AC adapters. Put them in each system. Make people happy. Costs you nothing.
Except they have nothing to play beer pong with anymore. They have to go buy real ping pong balls.
You mean they have to play it like it's supposed to be played? Not with AC adapters, assholes.
So there is a turn-based strategy game called Codename Steam that will release on March 13th.
People have been wanting a brand new IP for Nintendo systems. They announced it at E3, and it finally got a date, Codename Steam. Here you go. You want a brand new game? You're tired of the Mars and the Zelda? I don't want another Star Fox. It's too old. Here you go. Codename Steam. Here's a game that you will not buy just so you can bitch later on that there's no original games on Nintendo systems.
Can I be friends with that little kid that you were just being? Because he sounds like a jolly good time.
Sounds like a dick. And there's millions of them out there that are going to bitch and not play this, and then they're going to bitch again when there's the next Mario game. But they are actually integrating some Amiibo figurines in spite of my rage.
Players can summon Fire Emblem characters for extra help through the Amiibo figurines.
That should sell you. Fire Emblem is like your favorite thing ever.
Can they fall in love?
You can pretend they fall in love.
No, then stop asking questions. Stop asking questions you already know the answers to.
So officially, Fire Emblem characters can be used in Steam. I don't know if you can play as them. It looks like they can just help out the character, which is fine.
That's fine.
I want to see Marth in there just kicking ass on all these Steam characters. I want to see
Crom, because he was my husband twice.
And it's a turn-based strategy game. I love those. I like Fire Emblem. I like the tank game. I forgot. Oh, Advance Wars. Mm-hmm. Love that game.
I thought you were going to say Squishy Tanks, but then I remembered you never bought it for me.
It's hard to find.
If you guys find Squishy Tanks, I will give you money. Send it to me.
It's like a $3 game on the DS.
I know. All I want is Squishy Tanks. I don't even know what it's about, except Squishy Tanks.
You just saw the little Squishy Tank, and you're like, that looks good.
Sold. So the next line of Amiibo figurines for Super Smash Bros. Will release this spring.
I'm still waiting for Greninja, but the ones that are coming out are Robin and Lucina from Fire Emblem, Pac-Man, Wario, Ness, and Charizard.
Charizard's pretty badass.
Not as awesome as Greninja.
Well, but Charizard, it's only because Greninja's a frog.
Well, yeah, he's a fucking ninja frog. What else do you want? That's better than a fire lizard.
Why didn't they name him Frog Ninja?
Greninja is cooler.
No, I like Frog Ninja.
Fro Ninja?
Yeah.
And he can have a fro. Yes. Missed opportunity, Game Freak. What have you done?
Fro Ninja.
Aside from Black Lantern Kelly, I want someone to draw me Fro Ninja. Thank you.
Someone drawing Black Lantern Kelly?
Hopefully.
I hope so.
What if Rob Liefeld was drawing Black Lantern Kelly? What would happen then?
Oh, I don't even know. I'd have my head would be very small and I would have very large, shoulder muscles.
You'd have one shoulder pad, a bunch of pockets on your leg, one arm way bigger than the other.
What am I doing with all these pockets on my leg?
I have no idea. That's what we're all wondering, why you put so much damn pockets on the characters.
Do I put Black Lantern things in my pockets?
You can do that. You can put your Pokeballs on your belt still.
Okay. Well, I mean,
your DS in your pockets.
If he added Pokeballs to my belt, then maybe it'd be okay.
So you'd be okay with Liefeld drawing Black Lantern Kelly?
No, I would look like a man.
Like a Black Lantern. Most of the time, they almost look like skeletons. If you look at his earlier
they're
drawings.
Black Lanterns.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. Nintendo also said that there would be another series line of amiibo figurines.
The Super Mario amiibos will release on March 20th and can be used with Mario Party 10, like we were saying earlier.
These include Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, Bowser, and Toad.
Boring.
Here's the part that sucks. They're releasing separately because amiibos cannot store data for multiple games at the same time.
Sure they can. They just choose not to.
It's true. So if Mario's your main, or Peach, or Bowser, whatever, and you use them in the amiibo games in Super Smash Brothers, you're like, yeah, I want to use them in Mario Party 10 for all the new features that they're obviously going to put in there. You can't use the old amiibos that you bought earlier. You have to get these other separate ones if you want to have same data on the separate systems.
Hopefully they'll be in different poses. That would be nice.
Oh, they're definitely like brand new poses. They look a little bit different.
Fine.
But there are now different lines. Like if they make a Star Fox game, I probably won't be able to use Falco or Fox from Smash Brothers in that if I want to keep my data from Smash.
But will you purchase another one? Hell yes, you will.
And now, no, based on principle. I'm like, those assholes.
You will. You say that, and then it comes out with a really cool pose, and then you're like, ugh, I gotta get it now. And that's how you're gonna justify it to me. That's exactly how you're gonna justify it to me. I'd be like, but Dan, you can just, like, delete your old save data. And you'd be like, no, but, I mean, I gotta use that for Smash Brothers, and they put him in this other really cool pose, which he did in this part of the game, so I have to get it. That's exactly how that conversation's going to go.
But I'll still be angry about it.
And then Nintendo will laugh at you as you purchase it.
They'll just be counting the money. They'll have a cigar, and they'll have their feet up on a desk in the back, and they'll just be counting money like, yes.
Exactly. And we'll all fall for it, and we'll all be okay with it at the end of the day.
Well, they haven't announced Star Fox amiibo, so for now I can be upset
at this.
Oh, but they
will.
For now, I have the right to be mad.
What if they get, like, Slappy Toad or whatever his name was?
Slippy Toad? I immediately went to Slappy from Goosebumps, and I was like, he wasn't a Star Fox character. There was no ventriloquist there. There's definitely one in Secret Six. That'd be cool, Slappy, on the Secret Six comics. But yeah, it's Slippy Toad. You remember that.
Slippy Toad.
Remember that.
I don't. All I remember is he cried a lot.
It's one of my favorite series, so you respect Star Fox and all of the members, including Slippy Toad.
Okay. You know, if they came out with a Pokemon Snap and then I had to buy amiibos, I would buy another Pikachu. I'd buy another Pikachu.
I think you'd buy another Pikachu regardless.
Well, yeah, probably.
It can be for Pokemon Shuffle or whatever, and you'd get one.
And I wouldn't even really play Pokemon Shuffle. I would just buy another Pikachu.
It's a really cool figure. That Smash Brothers Pikachu looks awesome. They did a really good job.
You put him in like 10 different poses, I would buy them all.
Here's Pikachu sleeping. Yeah, Pikachu with the different costumes in Smash. Yeah.
Charizard Pikachu. Oh, done.
Oh yeah,
done.
You're still looking for that thing.
I do. I want it so bad.
A listener, Christopher from Facebook, he was actually like, here they are, like on eBay, and it was the smiling Pikachu. And I was like, yeah, but she wants the angry looking one. He's like, oh, naturally she wants that one.
I'm a woman. We pick the toughest things to find. No, I need that asshole Pikachu. Because he just looks like he's like fucking with people. Like, he's not fighting anybody. Someone's just walking down the road and he's like, ah, fire blast, motherfucker. That's all he was doing.
Pikachu, please, you can't talk to people like that. Can't do that out here.
It's like, I don't give a shit. I do what I want.
Shut up.
I'm Pikazard.
There's a new entry to the Rhythm Heaven series. Yes! This is all you.
Yes! These are my kinds of games.
It'll be for the 3DS, not exclusive to the new 3DS, arriving to Japan this summer. No word yet on a North American release. I'm thinking holiday 2015.
Better be here, because I'm going to purchase that shit. I love me some Rhythm Heaven. These are the kind of games that I can play. Can I play them better than you?
Oh yeah, you definitely can. And they did say that there's going to be a bunch of the older mini games in this, and then 40 brand new ones.
I want the Do Re Mi Fa So.
I want the ducks, the Nazi ducks.
Oh, you loved them. Stretch out your neck. Oh man, I loved that. I put so many hours into that game, and then I had that one glitch where I couldn't get perfect on that one level.
Even though you got perfect,
even though I got
every
perfect,
single move,
it wouldn't
register
give it
it as
me.
Perfect.
Ugh,
dicks.
So then I gave up. I need to finish the one on the Wii though.
Yes, you do. That one was really good as well.
Yeah, but that faux show thing, I couldn't do that one.
There's always the one that you like, the soccer one and the faux show one.
Oh, I was bad at the soccer one. I was bad at the one where it changed to the offbeat. You remember? If anybody played the one on the DS, they know which one I'm talking about, because that stumped everybody.
So you'll obviously be getting the Rhythm Heaven game.
Yeah.
Hopefully they make one on the Wii U. Let's see how the 3DS one does. There's also some Xenoblade awesomeness coming to the 3DS. It is releasing in North America this April, exclusive to the new 3DS.
This was originally available on the Wii. This remake will come with 3D visuals and will support the system's second screen through inventory and map support.
Xenoblade was originally not going to come to North America. Enough gamers were like, hey, bring it over. We really want to play it. It looks like an awesome game. Hell, we'll import it if we have to. Instead, Nintendo made it a GameStop exclusive. That way they didn't have to distribute them out to the Targets and Walmarts and potentially lose money on them. Instead, GameStop, they made it exclusive. They gave it like a collector's, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
And it sold out. Like, it was gone. Now, if you go to GameStop and try to find Xenoblade used, it's a $70 game.
Oh, shit.
It's expensive. But if you want to play it, now is your chance. If you're going to get the new 3DS, it's actually an improved version of that Wii game. It's going to look nicer on your 3DS. It's going to have new mechanics. That C-Stick is going to help a lot. And like you said earlier, that second screen for inventory support, that's great.
Also, some news that I'm pretty excited for. From the same team behind Fire Emblem Awakening comes a new Fire Emblem game for the 3DS.
Fire Emblem Awakening was going to be their last one if it did not sell what they as well as they wanted it to. So that could have been it for Fire Emblem. Instead, people like you and I bought the game, adored it, probably for different reasons.
Very different reasons, as we'll talk about in a second.
But there's a brand new one. There's no release date yet, but Nintendo did say that it will have brand new mechanics and a new setting for the series.
Players will also make decisions that will affect the game's world.
So the trailer is out there. Does it look like Awakening at all?
I think it looks a little bit like Awakening. They just didn't highlight my favorite part of Awakening.
I think it looks very different from Awakening. It doesn't have the regular knights and mages and all that. Instead, it's more of a Japanese, way more Japanese of a setting than the last ones. Like, you've got the different robes, the different bridges,
but
the trees.
But still Pegasuses.
Yeah, they're still, and it looks like it
archers.
plays the same too, which I was extremely happy about.
I want them to fall in love. I'll hold out until I know if people can fall in love.
So this is why I like the Fire Emblem Awakening game.
My
like
reason's
that.
better, but okay.
Well, we'll cover yours.
Okay.
The new modes where your character does not die permanently.
I do
helped a
appreciate
lot.
that. Yes.
And if you didn't want that, you could play classic version of this. You got both. And I still heard players complain about that. They're like, well, I don't want that option. It's like, what? Just fucking pick the classic.
Just calm down.
So that was awesome, because you're not, at the end of the game, you lose a player, and you're like, fuck, that's it. Like,
Donald, man. Fucking Donald.
Yeah,
anyway,
he was awesome.
Continue.
I got used to the graphics. I prefer the sprites. I got used to the graphics fine. That was probably the worst part of the game to me, but it still wasn't a bad thing. Like, it's like the gameplay is exactly like Fire Emblem. And then the pairing system with the characters, where you actually pair them together and they'll do multiple attacks, that was an awesome entry into a brand new thing to the series, and I loved it. Finally, the story. That was my favorite story of the entire Fire Emblem series, especially with the ending and Chrom and the rest of your friends. It's a gorgeous game. The cutscenes are amazing. The voice acting is phenomenal. Beautiful, beautiful game. Did I name it like my favorite 3DS game that year?
I think so.
It was just a perfect game. If you have a 3DS, or if you're going to get one with the new 3DS, please pick up Fire Emblem Awakening. You won't regret it. It's really, really good. Now, why did you like Fire Emblem Awakening?
Because they can fall in love and have babies.
I don't know if they can do that in this, because in the first one, you jump in the future,
Yeah.
and you see everyone's different babies
Okay, well, I
and
don't
kids.
care if they can have babies. Just let them fall in love.
Okay, fine.
I just want them to fall in love, because then you had, like, their fun little backstory at the end. Like, oh, man, they got along for a while, then they divorced tragically, and no, that never happened. But that should have. It would have been more realistic.
Didn't someone's, parent die, and then that was it?
I
If
don't
you
know.
didn't pair them with anyone?
Probably.
Some people had a sad ending if you didn't do anything with them.
You
And I
can
was like,
read them
fuck 'em.
all online.
Yeah.
But, that was my favorite thing, because I spent hours on the wiki for Fire Emblem Awakening. Like, okay, so who's going to have what baby? Oh, that baby's ugly. They're not going to be with them now. And then I'd pick out which of the babies I wanted to be together, and that would determine who I paired together so that they could all be together. Oh, man, it was so much fun.
You're playing God with these people's
I
love.
was. And then Jerome, man, he was my favorite baby, because he was like the redhead.
Okay.
Right? Did you ever get Jerome?
I don't think so.
Oh man, he was cool. He was a redhead, and he flew on like the little dragon thing.
All right. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, and then he was all like hated life. Like his mom was like, "Yo, kid, like let's have a happy life," and he's like, "Oh, I can never have a happy life." And I'm like, "You're gonna be with Lucina, my child. She'll have a lot of problems." But I killed her father, so it's okay.
Yeah, and I also like that you get to create your own character. So then when you fell in love with someone, you had your kid that looked like whatever you created. Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Oh, the kids still look like Crom.
Well...
Redhead's a recessive gene, so I mean, what did I really expect?
So hopefully they'll bring that back for you.
They better. That's the whole reason that I played that game. It's the reason I'm playing it through again.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're still playing it.
Yes.
Are you having different pairings now?
Well, I'm still with Crom because I want to be a queen. Let's just, come on.
Classic woman.
I want to rule a nation and have lots of money and servants. Okay, fine.
And babies, apparently.
And babies. Well, and Crom was so sweet. We fell in love because we walked in on each other in the shower.
That is it for the love story.
Yes.
Like, that
and
is
then
all
he
of
was
it.
like, well, literally, word for word. Well, we've seen each other naked now. And then we were in love.
Different times back then, Kelly.
But yes, I did do some different pairings. It's fun to play back through because there were some characters I used the first time around that I didn't use the second time around, or that I tried to use the second time around and then it just wasn't working out.
So in summary, Fire Emblem, awesome. Get it if you have a 3DS. From all of the Nintendo news that was announced, which one, was it Fire Emblem that you were most excited for, or was it the Rhythm Heaven?
Rhythm Heaven, because Fire Emblem worries me because we never had a game like the last one. And there were so many things I liked about the last one that there's a probability I may not like this one if they changed it. But Rhythm Heaven's been consistent. Both games that I've played, love it, and I'm good at it. I don't have to put it on easy.
You're good at Fire Emblem, too.
I put that shit on easy.
Oh, well, never mind.
I don't play that on normal. I put it on normal once and I went, yeah, no, and I restarted.
So for me, if the Star Fox news was a part of the Nintendo Direct, that would have been my favorite. But otherwise, the Fire Emblem, brand new game on the 3DS, and more importantly, the same team that did Awakening. That is crucial to the success of this game. Count me in. Bring it out ASAP. I'm going to pre-order it. Whatever collector's edition, fine. If there's a collector's edition new 3DS bundle, I'm in. I don't care what color it is. Whatever tells Nintendo, like, here's money, I like Fire Emblem. That's what speaks. Like, every dollar should say more Fire Emblem on it.
They could take one of the black new 3DSs and just put, like, cheap-ass stickers on it, and you would purchase it. Like, they go to the store and get some glitter stars and just stick it.
Oh, something I forgot. With the new 3DS, they're not bringing the slimmer one. I don't know if you remember that, the little version. They're only bringing the XL to North America,
right.
Not the regular one, which has the interchangeable faceplates. And I think that's fine. Like, whatever. Like, people like the XL more. That's what they should bring out in North America. Some people want the other one now. And if they had brought out the little one, they would have wanted the XL. I understand the faceplate customization, how that could be fun. But we haven't had that before. We don't know how that works, if it's even something that we want. I prefer having a bigger screen over interchangeable faceplates.
Agreed.
Faceplates you're not going to be looking at all day. You're going to be looking at a screen when you're playing. So I didn't think this was that big of a deal, but I guess it is.
Calm down, people.
Maybe they'll bring out the smaller one as like a budget option closer to the holiday season. But to me, just stick with the XL. It's really not a big deal, and it's a great system either way. Agreed.
So that will actually do it for our video game news. Oh,
tons of it.
It was a whole lot,
man. It's the Nintendo podcast, everyone.
So we're going to move into some television DC news. A new animated series for DC will premiere on the CW's digital-only channel.
Vixen will take place in the same universe as Arrow and The Flash.
Vixen originally debuted in Action Comics number 521 and was created by Jerry Conray and Kurt Swan. She's been a member of the Justice League and the Suicide Squad and has appeared in several animated shows, including Justice League Unlimited and Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, Vixen was Jon Stewart's love interest in Justice League Unlimited.
Nope.
And she was also in the comics.
Nope. She was... Hawkgirl was always Jon Stewart's love interest. They should have been together. I don't like her. I'm glad they killed her off in the comics.
Didn't they kill her off in the in the comics based on the Justice League?
Killed her off. Pretty sure that was Dusty Wynn.
Might have been, but that's what got his attention back to Hawkgirl, because
Yeah.
she was immediately there like, oh, is everything okay?
You know what? Don't make her out to seem like that.
Well, that's how she was.
She's
I'm
not
not
that kind of
making her
person.
out. That's the way
She loves him, and she just wanted to make sure that he was okay. She wasn't like, oh, she's dead now. Like, let's be together. That was, no. She went and lived in Africa with him. Have you seen her pasty white skin? Us gingers do not do well in the sun.
She's also an alien, so she might do fine in the sun.
But she's still a ginger. Like, ginger overrides alien.
We're talking about Hawkgirl, but this show is actually about Vixen. So let's move back to Vixen. So she uses the different powers. She's kind of like Animal Man.
Yeah, very
so she
similar.
she can go super speed by using the Cheetah's power, and she can use Elephant. Originally, when she debuted, and that was in Action Comics 521, they used a lot of the stereotypes for the time for Vixen. So she was, what was that Austin Powers movie? The last one with Beyonce. She used all the stereotypes of the time, like saying being sassy and all of that. And eventually they kind of refined her into the character that it is now. And great design. She's got the shorter hair. I love the costume for the Vixen animated show. People want to see her actually make a debut on the Arrow or the Flash TV show, even if she's a secondary character. And I think depending on how successful the animated series is, will ultimately determine if she makes it onto those shows.
I agree.
Do you think they should do more of this, where they tie it into the TV shows in terms of the animated stuff?
I don't know, because the problem you run into with that is you now have to find an actor who plays the character, and you've already set up the design for the animated. So now do you go out and find someone who looks like the animated design, or do you find somebody completely different so people can complain?
What if they never move forward with that? What if they just make animated things, shorts like this, miniseries, that take place in that universe? Do you want more of that?
I would be okay with that. I think it would be fun.
Arrow and the Flash are so successful for DC and CW that this definitely makes sense. They have a female character that hopefully takes off. It probably won't be as big as Arrow or the Flash, but enough to where she makes a debut on the show, and I really want to see that. So we'll definitely check it out. Digital only channel. You can watch it on the internet, and for those of you that don't have cable, no worries. It'll be right there for you.
iZombie's debut trailer has gone up online this week.
Yeah, it's another TV show coming very soon. It's going to premiere on Tuesday, March 17th on the CW.
I think this is a great premise. I had no idea what iZombie was, and you showed me the trailer, and I really want to watch it.
It's essentially a zombie protagonist mystery solver type of story.
I guess she does autopsies.
Right.
When she eats their brains, she can see what happened to them.
Right, and just to establish, it's a zombie main character.
Right. I don't know. I think it just sounds fun. It's a different take on the zombies because we're so used to them being mindless. But this is I feel it's kind of pulling zombies into the same category as vampires.
I see what you're saying.
Whereas they're not so much the villain anymore. They're the hero that all the girls want to get with.
And there's more depth to it.
Exactly.
And to be clear, all of this was done... I believe the iZombie series was it was definitely way before the whole Twilight thing and all of that. And it was originally a comic drawn by Mike Allred, who is doing Silver Surfer now. And we do own a couple of the earlier iZombie issues. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking book. If you like Silver Surfer, you'll probably at least like the look of iZombie. But this will be different than the comic. They've already said that they kind of took the summary and the premise of the comic, but they're actually doing brand new stories and different characters just for the show. Do you think they should stick close to the comic or kind of do their own thing?
I never read the comic, so I don't know.
So to you, it's just kind of like either way.
Right. I feel like, for the most part, when TV shows get written based off comics, the people in the industry writing this will understand what the industry needs. What works in a comic doesn't necessarily work in a TV show that you want the masses. And that's not always the case. Sometimes the shows are just shit. But for the most part, I would assume that they know what they're doing. So if this is the creative take that they want to put on it, then I trust that it's the right decision.
Yeah, I agree. As long as it tells a good story, I don't care. I've said it before. I've said it to customers at the store. If Batman's cape was pink tomorrow and it was still Scott Snyder writing it, it's like, okay, well, fucking it's a good story. I don't give a shit.
Good for Batman.
Like, that's all that matters. And I say the same thing whenever they do a new look for a character, a new costume, whatever. Stories are good, fine. Let's go with it. Same thing applies with iZombie. Let's have some good episodes. It's worked with Constantine. It's not the New 52 comic. It's its own thing.
Which is probably why I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can... I like that. You've grown to the point where you say you can like a Constantine thing. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. I've grown a lot this last year.
We just have to work on the Creeper now.
No, fuck the Creeper.
And then we can have the Creeper Constantine crossover television.
No. That's a terrible idea. Terrible idea.
So we'll be watching iZombie. I can't wait. Mm-hmm. Continuing with the comic book stuff. Diamond, who is the distributor for the various books, actually the only distributor, it's kind of a monopoly. They've released their numbers for all of 2014, outlining the best-selling books for each publisher.
So first up, the best-selling indie comic book was The Walking Dead 132, which had an overall rank of number 2.
Number 2 best-selling comic, Walking Dead, wow. And the best-selling indie trade is Saga Volume 3, which had an overall rank of 1 in the trades.
Hell yes it did.
Now you're justified, I guess? And
I was always justified, sir, but now the masses realize it as well. Saga is the best.
It's definitely awesome. Some people, I have customers come in just to pick up Saga, and that's all they pick up.
Good for them. I approve of those people. I can be friends with them. Ask them if they want to go...
Read Saga together?
Read Saga together. Get some sushi. I enjoy sushi.
Go ahead.
The best-selling DC comic book was Batman number 32 with an overall rank of number 14.
So DC's best comic was still down at number 14 for overall best comic of 2014 in terms of sales. The best-selling DC trade was Batman Volume 1, The Court of Owls. Great book. Obviously, everyone should own it. It's awesome. Overall rank of number 9 in the trades.
Saga was still better than that, though.
So it just goes to show that the market isn't quite there.
You know what? Just don't even finish that. Don't finish that sentence.
Batman or Saga?
Because there will be a fight.
Batman the Animated Series or Saga?
Okay, we're not talking about Batman the Animated Series.
Well, that's who I hear when I read Batman, so it is Kevin Conroy Batman.
But Kevin Conroy's done a lot. So, I'm just saying.
And Saga has not.
Are we going to fight about this? We can fight about this.
We will next time Saga comes out, I'm sure. Okay. If Batman and Saga come out on the same week, I'm sure we'll have this argument again.
Well, yes, we will.
If not, at the end of this year when we do our best of 2015, because yours is going to be Saga again.
You don't even know that. Stop pretending that you know everything about me. So the best-selling Marvel comic book was Amazing Spider-Man number 1, which had the overall rank of 1.
Best-selling comic of 2014 goes to Amazing Spider-Man. I can definitely see that. We've still got long boxes in the back at my comic shop of Amazing Spider-Man number 1,
Aww.
which is still selling. Like, I have to refill it in the bins every now and again, usually every 2 weeks or so. We've got the Scotty Young variants, we've got the blank cover variants, we've got the main cover, the Campbell. So you can see how this was the best-selling comic of 2014. It doesn't mean it was the best-selling series overall, because obviously book numbers drop as the numbers get higher. Like the number 2s are never going to sell as much as the number 1s. But I think this year, just based on the launch of Star Wars number 1, I can already say that is going to be the best-selling comic of 2015. Star Wars number 1, Marvel's with the 68 different covers. We still have some on the shelf, but we're already putting in our reorders because we know those are not going to last. The best trade for Marvel was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Cosmic Avengers, which had an overall rank of number 11.
That's only because the movie came out.
Obviously, yeah, definitely.
Sillies. So both Marvel and Image were up on their market share numbers, with DC giving up 1.47% compared to last year.
Across the overall comic market, 2014 topped 2013's numbers.
That's wonderful. That is good to hear. It's because of Saga. Good job, Saga.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the numbers are better from last year than they were in 2013, but people have seen that the jumps haven't been as great year to year. Like, the growth has definitely slowed down. The numbers are better, but it's not at a quick rate like it used to be back in 2011 with the New 52, for example.
At least the numbers are better, though.
I agree, definitely. And we've seen it at the comic shop. We had our best year ever last year. So people are coming into comic shops. They're checking out brand new books. If there are people like the Saga friends that you have, if they're just coming in for Saga, I'm glad they're coming in at all. Because
they're my Saga friends now.
They're your Saga peoples.
They're my peoples.
You can have a Saga podcast if you want.
I would do it. I would read it and then discuss the deeper meaning behind the words.
This word bubble here means that there's going to be some trouble in the future.
He spilled the groceries. You can see how there's some carrots and some leeks. Some alien vegetation as well.
And these two are gay, and it's okay.
Because it's in space. It's the future. We're all okay with this now. This is the greatest podcast ever.
And so, yeah, like I was saying, and even with the Guardians trade paperbacks, people came in. That's more credit to Marvel and their movies and the way they're handling them. But people want to come in and they're like, hey, I want to find out about these Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, here's this trade. It just came out, Volume 1. In your hands. Go buy it, $14.99. See you later, bye. Enjoy the movie. And it's happened already with Inhumans. The week that they announced Inhumans, people came in looking for Inhumans shit. And it's awesome. We didn't have much, so because most of the speculators came and picked it all up.
Right.
But there's going to be an Inhumans trade soon that we can also give to customers. So I'm all for that. When customers come in, they want to learn something new. They want to pick up something. That is an entry point. Everyone has their starting point. Mm-hmm. And if the Marvel movies are it and they want to pick up with that, fine. Here's this, and check out this other stuff too. That's how we started with Batman. I like Batman. Let me read everything Batman. And now I'm going to read Justice League because Batman's in it. Now I'm going to read, this other thing because it's sort of like Batman, Gotham Academy. Mm-hmm. And now look at us. We have tons of books.
Way too many books.
Before we move on to the big news in terms of OmniExpo, what do you think DC could do to try to get back that market share? We've seen them do more of the indie stuff with Batgirl, with Gotham Academy, and with Arkham Manor. Do you think they need to continue doing that? Or do they need to appeal to the older audience with the Convergence stuff, the pre-New 52? Should they do a soft reboot? Or should they do brand new number ones, but just continue the series with what's working? Ugh. What would you do as a DC reader?
Man, as a DC reader...
Like, what do you want to see?
But I love DC. Keep with what you're going with. Purchase Saga.
They need to buy Image, I guess.
They need to have a Catwoman Batman love story. And then done.
In terms of the overall market, is there anything... What is DC doing that is different from Marvel or Indie that their numbers... Their market share is going down. Their sales are staying good.
Okay,
but...
here's the thing, and I don't know that this is the truth, but I'm going to say it. Marvel put out a lot of movies recently.
Yes.
And that's pulling in a lot of people. And DC, they have the Batman franchise, but that was a few years ago, and they haven't really done anything since then. They've announced, but nobody's seen something where they go, yes, that's what I need to jump on board with. So I think over the next, 5 years, when we're seeing all these DC movies, then yes, their market will continue to rise, because now people are relating to characters and wanting to know more about them. That's, I feel, why Marvel had the edge this year. I would love to see DC put out more comics for women. Mm-hmm. You have Batgirl, which Gail Simone did a fantastic job with, but that's pretty much all that there is.
Yeah, you did have Batwoman, but it didn't really catch the younger readers as well as the Batgirl did, or even the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl did with Marvel. It just got a bunch of readers in. We were very interested in that. Silver Surfer obviously got your attention. So Gotham Academy, though, was moving in the right direction. That definitely appeals to younger female readers.
I agree, but you need to give Gail Simone another book.
Right.
And I think if that happens, because a lot of women are starting to pick up comics now.
It's 51% of the market.
Exactly. And then you would see that rise also, but...
Definitely need to tap into that, but little by little, we'll see how 2015 shapes up for DC and the rest of the publishers. We just want to see some good comics, and we're definitely getting a lot of them.
Exactly.
If you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any of those, you did see that OmniExpo has given us a panel this year.
Yes, so our network, Nerd Up Media, will be doing Podcasting 101.
Join the Nerd Up Media crew as we go through how you can get started on a podcast or a Let's Play channel. We'll share what has worked for us, our experiences, and how social media can help you grow your fan base. We will also have a Q&A to discuss general comic book and video game news. So at the end of the day, if you don't even want to start a podcast or Let's Play, you will have a podcast that you can enjoy as a panel. Mm-hmm.
The expo is May 22nd through the 24th at Rosen Center Hotel in Orlando, Florida.
So you will see Lazy Gaming guys there, at least Scott for sure. We'll both be there at the convention. Rick from the Read Pile and Those Two Jerks, as well as Tom from Those Two Jerks and Elle from the Read Pile. So it'll be a Nerd Up Media amazingness at the OmniExpo. Our very first panel, we're extremely excited for it. Podcasting 101, very happy to share what we've gone through We haven't yet nailed what day we're going to be there. We're thinking more towards Saturday, midday. But we're really excited about the convention.
Very excited. I'll share some recipes. We can talk about saga. I'll read some books for you guys. I'll read it and then I'll turn the page so you can all see. And then discuss what the art means.
When I was a kid, I hated that shit because she would never turn it enough to where I could see it.
Everybody could see it.
They're always like towards the center. I'm like, hey, asshole, like I'm at the edge over here. Like, how am I going to see this book? I hated that. And I was a short kid. I'm still kind of short too, so... So hope we see a bunch of you out there. We'll definitely have some kind of giveaway, either t-shirt or something courtesy of Lazy Nerds Designs. As we get closer, we'll give you some more details on what's actually going to happen. But we're extremely excited for OmniExpo, and we thank them for their support.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who follow us on YouTube, you saw our Hero Crate unboxing, finally!
Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Hero Crate, for sending the crate. It's number 5. It released in December, and it was themed for the new year that was coming up. And we did do an unboxing, and there's definitely some great stuff in the crate. The service, as you saw in the video, is $29.99 per crate, which is only 5 cents more than the leading crate competitor, whatever. Or you can get the bundle and save some money doing 3 months. Most importantly,
it is not a subscription service, which is fantastic. You're not tied in for an entire year. You can decide, you know what, I got some extra money this month, but I don't next month, and just go through it that way.
Just head on over to HeroCrate.com if you want to order your crate. Or if you're like, you know what, I kind of want to see what's in there first, head on over to YouTube.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke. Click on the unboxing. It's right there. If you can't find it, we also have playlists. You can check out all of our unboxings, including the statues, the Thor frog, which was amazing. But more recently, the Hero Crate one. Once again, huge thanks to Hero Crate for being a supporter of Nerd Up Media. You will see another unboxing from the Read Pile probably next week. Mm-hmm. Definitely check it out for their own commentary and spin on all the products. And also on Those Two Jerks. You can find it all at nerdupmedia.com.
And now, before we jump into our comic book pull list of the week, we have Dan's free Audible audiobook recommendation of the week.
It's not just mine. He told me I should put it in there, and I will. And I'm very happy because we love Audible, and Audible loves us. And the recommendation is 50 Shades of Grey. You laugh, but it is one of the most downloaded free audiobooks on audible.com.
Well, yeah, because us women jump all over this.
I want to read the message.
Please do. Do it in a sexy voice, please.
Dun, 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 dun. Can we play some George Michaels? You gotta do that. I need some music. I don't know.
I'm never gonna dance again.
Erotic, amusing, and deeply moving. The 50 Shades of Trilogy. Wait, I already fucked that up.
50 Shades of Trilogy.
The 50 Shades Trilogy is a tale that will obsess you, possess you, and stay with you forever.
Is it warm in here? Is it just me?
It's the audiobook recommendation, audible.com/nerdupmedia. That's where you get it. Get your free trial. Once again, audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. You
just stopped being sexy halfway through that.
That's fine.
We need to, carry it out. Broquettes get a free... I can't even do it. Broquettes get a free audiobook download of their choice, along with a 30-day free trial. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia.
Yeah, continue the sexy by downloading this for free. Get your free audiobook. Helps us out a lot. Helps all of us at nerdupmedia.com. If you want to... I don't know if the movies come out. I know very little about this book.
The movie's coming out on... Valentine's Day.
There you go, you know. I'm not going to take you to that because it looks like a shitty movie.
But
this audiobook, however, looks really good, and you should totally sign up and download it.
All right, fine, done.
You get your preview at audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia as well. You get your free credit, download it, help us out. And again,
if you don't want to download this book, you can choose another book.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm glad this was our recommendation this week.
Mm-hmm. Now we can move on to comics. We've got a lot of indie and 2 Marvel books and 2 DC books. So indie kind of outdid everything else this week.
So first up we have Adventure Time, Marceline Gone Adrift. This is number 1 of 6. It's written by Meredith Grand with art by Carrie Pichich.
They kind of marketed this as a love story between Marceline and Princess Bubblegum.
Yeah.
And it seems like it is. And I'm happy that they're finally making their own dedicated comic to just their relationship. Mm-hmm. And I feel For the $3.99, it didn't give you a ton of story.
Agreed.
But the artwork was just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. I always love the softer look to the Adventure Time series, especially for a book where it is about these two characters, Marceline and Princess Bubblegum, and how she will have to eventually save the character that, obviously she cares a lot about.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, I'm so happy they're finally exploring their relationship, because it's been hinted at for forevs. We even saw in this last arc the Banana Guards, or no, the one where we were going through time.
Yes.
The regular Adventure Time.
The flip side, right?
Right.
Not just the regular.
Side,
okay,
just the regular Adventure Time, where they're going through time because the nematode, it's not a nematode, but anyway, it ate off Finn's memories. But you kind of see that they built a whole life together, and they could have passed it off as friends, but I'm happy to see that they're kind of saying, no, this is what they really are. Next up is Bravest Warriors, number 28. This is written by Kate Lett and Mad Rupert, with art by Ian McGinty and Kat Lay, and the colors is Lisa Moore.
All action on Bravest Warriors for this one, and comedy on the backup story.
There's some love in this one.
There is. Yes, there is. Very LGBT friendly. Mm-hmm. You have a new character that they introduced, an issue or two ago?
Uh-huh.
And her relationship with, I don't know her name, but
Peach and Plum.
There you go. It is definitely established in this.
Yes.
And I think Bravest Warriors is definitely on the upswing. This was way more entertaining than, let's say, 4 months ago when we were kind of like, I don't know.
When Chris was discovering his emotion powers.
And it was tying into the YouTube show way too much. Now they're doing their own thing. It's fun again. It's funny. The notes at the bottom are amazing.
Always.
There's hidden symbols in there that they even make fun of. At one point, there's a pentagram, and at the bottom, it's I think the artist summoned the demon with this page.
Good job. Yep.
It's awesome. And then we have scary ass Chris at the very end. Yeah.
Yes, your favorite guy.
No, not my favorite.
He's your favorite.
I thought he was gone. I thought he was destroyed, and apparently not.
I'm gonna get you a picture of him, a poster.
Fine. That's fine. I thought you were gonna say you were gonna make one. A Robo Chris.
That's even better.
That's creepy.
Done. Robo Chris created. Happy birthday to you.
Listeners should Google Robo Chris Bravest Warriors and see how fucking creepy this thing is.
I'm gonna make you one. And you're gonna wake up one day and roll over to say good morning, and it's just gonna be Robo Chris.
We're gonna move forward. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Conan, Red Sonja, number 1. Series debut, miniseries, written by Gail Simone and Jim Zub. Huge names in the industry. Mm-hmm. Art by Dan Panosian, who did more recently the Harley Quinn work in one of the one-shots. Mm-hmm. And colors by Dave Stewart.
I loved this comic. They didn't get it on, which made me kind of sad.
But there's more coming.
But Conan totes wanted to get it on. And she's like, nah, see you later. Peace out, yo.
The way I was reading this, I envisioned Jim Zub writing the Conan parts and then Gail Simone writing the Red Sonja. I'm sure they did the plot together, but as far as the dialogue, you can tell that it's definitely all Gail Simone's Red Sonja.
Yes. The thing that bothered me about this comic, and I love the story, and I feel they introduced the characters well, and I love the little narrations and build up before anybody knew their names, this is what they were. I loved that. But I feel the art bothered me because it sexualized Sonja way too much.
I definitely agree. The covers are gorgeous by Dan Panosian. Mm-hmm. He's doing the one for number 2 as well, which it looks beautiful. And the regular Red Sonja covers are very sexualized too. But it feels... Walter Giovanni, the way he handles Red Sonja in the main series is perfect. Mm-hmm. She looks angry and she looks tough and she looks mean and she has completely different outfits. But then the way Dan Panosian draws her, she's got the huge eyelashes, the huge
big lips. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see if
Very
it wasn't for Gail.
Lips.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Gail Simone's writing and in terms of the dialogue, I wouldn't see this as the Red Sonja that we more identify with.
Right. Well, even in the main series, when she wears the chainmail bikini, I don't feel like it's sexualized. I felt like it was sexualized in this book. And that really bothered me because I love the portrayal of Sonja as just a strong female character. But just where she's tough and I want to be her. There I didn't really want to be her because I was like, well, they'll just see me as an object.
I understand. But that being said, that's the weakest point of the book, is just the artwork. It still looks nice, again. I like Dan Panosian, but for a Red Sonja, it didn't quite work. But the story was still awesome, and I love the story. Regardless, we're going to move forward. That goes to show that, at least for us, the story is way more powerful than the artwork. Mm-hmm. and I'm enjoying it. I love this comic a lot.
Yep.
It was almost my pick of the week.
Really? It was almost mine too. Our next book is Hexed number 6. This is written by Michael Allen Nelson with art by Dan Mora, and the colors is Gabriel Casada.
We're continuing the story. I think it's slowing down a little bit.
A little bit.
I understand the loft, that they're kind of like, here's where they live, and these are the problems that they're still dealing with. I like that their new opponent, the one that we saw in the first arc, she's now more of a threat than she was before. They initially teamed up, and then now she's an adversary, but they're sort of forced to team back up with her. They're doing some fun stuff with the characters, but I don't feel there's quite an anchor in this arc like there was in the first one.
Well, I mean, not everybody can be Saga and just be awesome every time.
What'd you think of the comic?
I enjoyed it. I'm still really liking this series. I wish they'd threw in a love story, but that's just me. I love the characters that they've created, and what's her name? The white-haired lady.
Pretty much her apprentice, right? You're referring to?
Not the apprentice.
The older one.
The lady who runs the gallery. I think some crazy shit's about to go down with her.
I like her a lot.
Yes, I like her a lot. And that scares me, because I feel like she won't be in the comic much longer.
Hope. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But I am still enjoying it. Like you said, this was kind of a lull.
Yeah, very middle of the road.
Right. But I would pick up the next one.
Last indie book is Teen Dog number 5, written and drawn by Jake Lawrence.
Oh, Teen Dog. His hair didn't go into space this time. That made me sad.
No, but he learned that you can't always really be what you want. Sometimes you just have to work at your strengths, and I think that's an awesome message. We saw that in the Monsters University movie. Mm-hmm. You get that in Teen Dog, and you get to meet a brand new character, his brother.
Yep. I love the Zelda references in this.
Yes, there's tons of them.
They're all over the place.
You can tell this book was definitely written for people about our age. With the Zelda, the water temple is referenced in there. Even
yes.
the cover, you see the Triforce and the reverse Triforce. It's awesome. There's not much I can say about Teen Dog. It's always consistently good. And I always tell Jake Lawrence he's like, hey, pick up Teen Dog number 5. I'm like, is it not going yet? Because I'm waiting. I don't just want 8 issues. I want more than 8 issues. And I think it can be an ongoing because the format of it is so easy to handle and digest. Like, there's mini stories and then there's like a big arc in that same comic. You can jump right in. Like, I don't have 1 through 4, no big deal. Pick up number 5, done.
Right.
You're fine. And I think that can be something that's very beneficial for something that's an ongoing. You don't have to have an ongoing arc. You can just enjoy this every month for what it is. Just funny, humor, beautiful artwork.
Agreed. Now we can move into our Marvel books. We have Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man number 9. This is written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by David Marquez, and the colorist is Justin Ponsor.
This is the closing of Miles Morales' dad and what his entire background is, why he was so afraid of Miles being Spider-Man, and what that means for their own family, what that meant for his wife, who was now deceased, and what this means for the future of the two characters. And I love that Brian Michael Bendis took the time to say, okay, Ultimate Spider-Man number 8 and number 9 are just going to be background stories. Mm-hmm. And they're going to involve the Kingpin, and they're going to involve Nick Fury, and there's going to be action. There's going to be difficult decisions that will make you care about his dad now. And that, I think, is so important because their relationship, Miles and his father, is huge in this comic now because their mom is gone, and this is sort of like your Aunt May or Uncle Ben moment, but more applied towards a realistic setting, more towards minority readers especially. There's a lot in there for them, and definitely a lot of stuff I related to. So it was definitely an important comic for the series and for the people reading it, fans of Miles.
I agree. This one was almost my pick of the week also. This was a great comic. The only thing I would have liked is in one of the very last panels, I wanted to see tears in his dad's eyes.
Yeah.
And that wasn't there, but very minor complaint. This puts everything into perspective that his dad said, that his dad did. It makes 100% total sense. Like you said, I love the character of his dad now. Where before I was like, you dick.
Yeah.
But now I really like it because it makes sense. And I think it leaves a lot of room for growth with these two characters. Because, yes, Miles says that he didn't have a problem with anything that happened. But deep down, everyone would.
Right.
And I think that I would like to see that come back eventually and be something that they can grow through and build upon.
But you can check out Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man number 9 for yourself. We do have the digital code here for the first broquette that heads on over to marvel.com/redeem. ATCFUUQ4YLP8.
I want that to be a fake code because it's got an FU in the middle of it.
Just kidding, guys.
Nothing for you.
Our last Marvel book of the week is Silver Surfer number 8, written by Dan Slott, art by Michael Allred, and colors by Laura Allred.
This is my pick of the week.
I knew it would be, and it's my pick of the week as well.
Because it was awesome. And now we can get into our super debate. We almost had a super debate about this earlier, and I said, nah, bro, we got to wait for the podcast.
Yes, we did. So, if anyone's not familiar with the Silver Surfer character, he is a character that used to go to different planets. He found planets with life, with stuff that would quench Galactus's hunger. So Galactus would be like, okay, this planet right here, Galactus would come to the planet. When you saw the Silver Surfer, you knew that'd be the end of your civilization, your existence. Mm-hmm. Then Galactus would come, consume the planet, and they'd move forward to the next place. So Silver Surfer is responsible for millions of deaths, women, children, men, entire wipeout of species completely. And they come across a planet that has only one of each of those species that he's eliminated so far. They've kind of found this haven where Galactus won't find them, where the Silver Surfer can't find them. And obviously that past comes back to haunt him as Dawn figures out like he is actually responsible for the death of all these people, all these loved ones. And I've been with him for months and started to fall in love with him. Bad thing? What's? I know you should have been unhappy.
I am unhappy. Okay, so we're gonna spoil this comic a little bit. If you don't want to hear the spoiler, skip ahead till we're not talking about it, which will probably be for a long time because I have a lot of opinions on it. So Dawn finds out, and the first thing she does is go, "Oh no, can't be with you no more. Get out my face." That was her reaction, essentially.
And Silver Surfer, being Silver Surfer, was like, "Okay, Dawn, I'm leaving, but if you ever need me, call me, and I'll be back." And he left. Mm-hmm. And as sort of less emotional as Silver Surfer is, you can see that she could potentially lose him forever, based on her reaction. And you're absolutely right. She didn't take the time to be like, hold on, Surfer, let's talk about this. So what happened?
Exactly.
What's going on?
Exactly. And that's what pissed me off. Like, okay, I hated all those movies where the women see the men doing something, and then they just run away and stop talking to them. Like, let them just explain. Maybe he was forced into it. If he regrets it, then that's in the past. Like, he's not going around killing millions now. What's the problem? She just immediately assumes that he's still this evil, horrible guy, even though she spent months with him and knows that he's not like that anymore.
Yeah, and she listened to these other strangers on this planet. Like, they're like, he's a monster. And she's like, oh shit, I guess he is. Fuck you, Silver Surfer. But there has to be that conflict. You knew that the past was going to... Is it Silver Surfer's fault for not telling her sooner, as he was debating among himself and the board?
Man, okay, I'm a weird woman. I think we've all, figured this out by now. But my theory is kind of like, what did it matter if he told her? You know? Like, it's in the past. Let it go. It's done. It's over with. What's it gonna matter if she knows? It doesn't. He's not still that person. He's a different person. Mm-hmm. Why make him rehash all those horrible things that I'm sure he feels extremely guilty for?
Yeah, he didn't want to do any of that anymore.
Exactly. So there was no point. And then how's he going to bring it up? Like, they're floating through space, and he's like, BT Dubs, my old job. This is what that I had to do. Like,
well, he could have sat down with her and been like, look, this is something that you might find out about later.
He wasn't living that life anymore, so it didn't make sense for him to bring it up and have to relive all that kind of stuff.
But it looks like it's going to take him confronting Galactus in front of her for her to understand that he truly doesn't want to do any of that anymore. And she's slowly figuring it out, I guess. Like, near the end of the comic, she's like, okay, so this is what happened. That's who Galactus is, and so on. He almost came to Earth. He did say that thing, though, where he was like, oh, you guys were an exception, or whatever.
Well, yeah, but they had just met. He was a dick. Like, all guys are dicks when they first start relationships. That's just how it goes.
I also love how Dan Slott is giving so much more personality to his board, Toomey. I love Toomey now.
Toomey's great.
And Toomey gets tired at one point. So it's a beautiful book. Our favorite one this week, absolutely. And I think we did say our favorite Marvel book of 2014. And so far, it's our favorite one of 2015 as well.
Now we're going to move into our 2 DC books. First up is Batgirl number 38. This is written by Cameron Stewart and Brendan Fletcher, with art by Babs Tarr, and the colorist is Mara Swicks. Batgirl's a dummy.
All these women are dummies to you this week.
Yeah, I guess they are.
What happened?
She's a super dummy, so I don't know. Her boyfriend doesn't like her, so she's like, well, I'm gonna go save some lives, and this guy wasn't even really endangering lives, so she just, like, caused more issues, and now everybody hates her.
Yeah, she acted based on what this guy thinks of her and what he thinks of Batgirl, and it's all kind of piling upon her because everyone else is sort of looking at her and watching her, and everyone loves her, but now this cop is kind of bringing reality to her, like, you're causing some trouble here, although he is exaggerating it because he is a cop and he doesn't want these vigilantes undermining his job and what he does every day. But at the same time, Batgirl should be smart enough at this point, especially with everything she went through in Gotham, the training she got with Batman, everyone, to be like, this is fine. I deal with this all the time. I dealt with it in Gotham. I don't care what this guy thinks. Like, yeah, I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to enjoy myself. But at the same time, think a little bit.
Right, exactly. She let her emotions get to her. I love the fact that she's so a part of the social media, but it's showing how that can really get to her as well, because she's taking to heart what other people are saying about her, rather than just being herself and being okay with it, which is a great new aspect to her character, and I think it's very relatable. But I just want to punch her and be like, come on, Batgirl. For reals? Come on.
Calm down. Yeah, I liked it, though. As much as, like, we're kind of dogging on Batgirl, it's still a really good book.
Right, agreed.
And finally, we have Grayson number 6, written by Tim Seeley and Tom King, with art by Mikkel Janin and colors by Jeremy Cox.
I don't feel that this book really added to anything. I mean...
It added the Midnighter and checking out that Nightwing ass.
Yeah, he did do that. I'd recognize that ass anywhere. Word for word, guys. That was in the comic.
He is a pretty big gay character in the DC universe.
Yeah. Well, good for him.
And obviously he's checking out Nightwing.
Good for him. Good for him. We have some Mystery Garden, which I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, it's kind of revealed at the end, so it is definitely new to the series. A great jumping on point for Grayson number 6, because the last one, I believe, was the Desert issue.
Yes, that
which
was a
we
good
adored
one.
And loved. And that kind of ended its own thing. It had its own story. And number 6 starts this new arc with the garden and all of that. So if you want to jump into Grayson, if you like Nightwing, this is the time to do it. There's action in there. There's more of Nightwing kind of saying, I'm not Nightwing, I'm not Robin, I'm Dick Grayson right now. I can be 3 different people, fight different ways, and ultimately it's going to be who I want to be at the time. No one else is going to decide for me, like, oh, well, this is how you fight, this is how I'm going to defeat you. No, I'm going to adapt and change and maybe be more brutal.
Agreed overall. I mean, if I had to have a pass this week, I would pass on this one.
I wouldn't. I still enjoyed it very much so. That was our comics for this week, though. If I had to have a pass of the week, mine would be Hex number 6. Yours would be Grayson number 6.
Both of our picks of the week were Silver Surfer number 8.
And Broquettes. They can find us. They can help us. Where?
Go to nerdupmedia.com. You can click on the reasons I'm broke. You can see everywhere we're listed. Or if you go to nerdupmedia.com/shop for just a donation of $16.99, you can get a wonderful Nerd Up Media t-shirt. Comes in a bunch of different colors for both men and women. $16.99 includes your t-shirt and shipping, and it's mailed with love.
Absolutely. If you want to come to OmniExpo and you want to support your Nerd Up Media t-shirt, there's plenty of time to do it. OmniExpo is in May. Huge thanks to them. Huge thanks to Audible and, of course, Hero Crate for the crate unboxing, giving us the opportunity to do that. And to all of the Brokettes out there, new and old, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you found something on the podcast you enjoyed if you're a newer listener. But do check out our other shows on the Nerd Up Media Network. We've got other podcasts, we've got Let's Plays, stuff that we don't do and maybe you want to see. Great content is up on nerdupmedia.com.
As we said earlier in the podcast, we will not have one next week. Vacation time, finally, after the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Much needed. I will be wasted for most of it.
And I'll come back 5 pounds heavier.
I'm going to come back like 20 pounds heavier, please. You're going to have to roll me home.
So next week we'll just be like, hello.
The reasons I'm broke.
I'm dead. You can't eat that comic, Kelly.
Oh, man. Amazing.
So thanks a lot, everyone out there. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
Stay safe out there. Check out our other shows. Thank you so much for the support.